Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session of the Wellness Wednesday. I'm your host, Dr. Manjiri Nadkarni, Ayurvedic MD, registered holistic nutritionist. And today we are going to talk about another super important topic. We are talking all about DNA repair. Our last session, I had discussed a little bit about epigenetics, how your genes are not kind of set in stone, that's not going to dictate how your life is or the kind of diseases you will get, right? So we talked about different foods that are going to impact your genetics, what foods are going to support, what foods are going to damage the genetics. I don't think I carried the damaging part last time as much, so I'm going to talk about that more. But definitely we are going to advance a little bit more today, and we are going to talk about DNA, right? So we talked about the two strands that are the core of the genetic material, our DNA, and it is extremely important when looking at nutrition to have foods that are going to support your body from not just an organ perspective, but also your cellular perspective, and also the genetic perspective, and also the DNA perspective, right? Because we are having, chances of DNA mutations. There are oxidation reactions going on in the body all the time, right? But if you have a lot of DNA damage, it will lead to certain mutations. If you have a lot of DNA damage, it will impair the replication of this DNA, and a lot of your um, processes in the body can get dysregulated. It will increase the risk of cancer as well. DNA damage is one of the most important factors related to cancer. So if you have any kind of mutations, they are not going to make your body function better, and it will increase how prone you are to getting a certain kind of cancer. If you are someone who's looking at conceiving, having kids as well, certain mutations can also impact your child, as there are different syndromes with DNA damage. Damaging the DNA is going to accelerate aging for you. You are going to age faster, you're going to be more inflamed as well, and your immune function can be impacted as well due to this DNA damage. So that is why it is extremely important to eat not just to support your body but support your DNA. There are 5 common foods that are going to damage your DNA, right? So if you are looking to prevent cancer, if you're looking to age gracefully, if you are looking to conceive and have healthy babies, these are the 5 foods that you want to stay away from completely in your diet. The number one is processed meats, right? So when we talk about different meats and we talk about colon cancer, there can be a lot of red flags raised that, oh my god, eating meat, eating red meat, is contributing to colon cancer. Now, eating meat, especially meat that has been barbecued, especially meat that has been charred, especially meat, that is prone to high heat, because whenever you're taking that meat which has fat in it naturally, and you're cooking at higher temperatures, you're going to create certain heterocyclic amines and polyaromatic hydrocarbons known as HCAs and PAHs, which are known carcinogenic compounds, right? So these are the ones that are damaging the DNA. These are the ones that are increasing the risk of cancer. So if you are someone who is having your meats, do not cook them at higher temperatures. Do not use, a lot of the fatty cuts of meat in an air fryer as well, because they are going to damage the meat, and they will create a lot of the HCAs and also the PAH, right? So barbecuing at high heat is detrimental to your meat, but so are, air fryers. They are not as great as they're promoted to be, so I would avoid that. The second thing to stay away from is processed meats like bacon, sausages, all the deli meats which contain nitrates and nitrites. they can form harmful compounds called nitrosamines, which have been linked to DNA damage as well as cancer, especially colorectal cancer. So avoid that. Fried foods, especially foods that are cooked at higher temperatures, like potato chips, for example, they will contain acrylamide, they will contain those HCAs. Again, they have been connected with DNA damage as well as increased risk of cancer when you consume it too much. So, having a packet of chips once in a while as a treat or eating fried French fries once in a while is perfectly okay. But if you cook them in less oil, if you don't heat them at really high temperatures or like fry them in bad kind of oils, they are fine for occasional consumption, right? The fourth one is alcohol. Alcohol is a known carcinogen. Excessive consumption will increase inflammation. It will increase the liver stress. It will increase the oxidative stress on the body and will damage the DNA. So, avoiding alcohol is going to be really good for you. It has been shown to increase the risk of mutations as well as cancer development, especially when it comes to liver cancer, mouth, throat, and esophagus cancer as well. So, avoiding alcohol is going to be one of your best options if you are someone who is, has a history of certain kinds of cancer like liver cancer. And the third one is sugar sweetened beverages. Not only the excess sugar is going to lower your immune response and make your immune system a bit wonky, but they often contain additives like the caramel coloring as well. And that has been linked to DNA damage, oxidative stress, etc. So avoiding those, all kinds of pop energy beverages that are high sugar, high caffeine, as well as a lot of artificial colors like caramel coloring, those have to be avoided. So, these are the five things that you will have to avoid for sure. Now, what can you have instead? So, there are a few foods, especially certain food groups, that are going to be extremely good for you when it comes to cancer prevention, cancer protection, as well as DNA repair, right? So there are specific foods like cruciferous vegetables. So cruciferous vegetables contain sulforaphanes, and cruciferous vegetables, whether it's cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, arugula, radicchio, turnips, rutabaga, radishes, like all of these are going to be really good to support not only your liver but also support your DNA defense and repair mechanism, right? They are also great at clearing estrogen from the system. So they have multiple effects, right? So if you are someone who's prone to cancer, not prone, has a family risk of cancer, or family history of some kind of a cancer, this is something to include in daily life. If you are struggling with excess estrogen, right, PCOS, other conditions related to excess estrogen, adding those foods in your daily diet is a requirement that will help, because these will help the repair of your DNA. They stimulate DNA repair enzymes, they will reduce oxidative effect, and they're also anti-inflammatory, and they prevent DNA methylation as well, right? So those are to be included in your diet on a regular basis. The second one to use is turmeric. I know I've talked about turmeric a long, like I talk about it all the time. So turmeric has been studied. There are several studies. You can find it on PubMed. It is a potent antioxidant. It is a potent anti-inflammatory, and curcumin, which is the active principle, can protect DNA from DNA damage as well as free radical damage, and it reduces inflammation. Turmeric also has several other curcuminoids which can also help prevent DNA damage, right? So, eating turmeric in your daily diet is a super great way to lower the inflammation as well as protect your DNA. I add turmeric to everything, including omelets, whether you're making a vegan omelet with chickpeas or egg omelet. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric works fantastic. All the lentils, dals, even marinating your meats, turmeric works fantastic. So if you get small amounts daily, that's going to boost your body. So second was turmeric. The third one are berries, right? So fruits, when it comes to fruits, all berries are pretty amazing because they are rich in vitamin C and they have certain compounds called anthocyanins. Amla berry is one of the richest sources of vitamin C, which is a potent DNA repairing antioxidant. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries are also rich in anthocyanins as well as flavonoids, which will repair your DNA and prevent any free radical damage to your system. So, rather than eating bananas on a daily basis, or rather than having mangoes, grapes, all those sweet fruits on a daily basis, berries are going to be better because they are also low in the glycemic index. They do not turn to sugar in your system that easily, and they have a lot of different nutrients that will boost your energy, and that will also prevent this DNA damage, right? The fourth one is fish. So fatty fish, especially salmon, mackerel, sardines, are rich in omega 3. If you are not someone who wants to include fish in the diet, chia seeds, walnuts are great sources of omega 3, and also flaxseed. Omega 3s have anti inflammatory properties and they can help stimulate enzymes in your body that are going to repair your DNA, right? So they are going to enhance the activity of the DNA repair enzymes, and those can be eaten on a daily basis. Even nuts like Brazil nuts, I talk about Brazil nuts all the time, but they contain small amounts of vitamin E, but they have lots of selenium. Again, these are compounds associated with DNA repair and lowering the lowering the oxidant effect on the body. So those have to be included. A bonus one that I like to talk about is green tea, right? So green tea is one of the best beverages you can consume on a daily basis. Again, you will find a variety of studies done on green tea and its compounds, especially catechins. So they have several compounds, that help repair the DNA. They have the EGCG, which is the epigallocatechin gallate, which is one of the potent antioxidant compounds, which can neutralize the harmful free radicals in your body and protect your DNA. It also has different components like EG, EC, etc. I'm not going to go for the names, they're a little bit complicated, but they are going to stimulate again DNA repair enzymes like polymerases, ligases, etc., and repair it. It will lower your oxidative stress on the body, it will lower the inflammation, it will prevent DNA methylation, and it is lower in caffeine. So it is not going to push your stress glands or adrenals as much as drinking a cup of coffee would, right? So green tea is something, if you are someone who has impaired immune system, switch over to green tea rather than coffee, and that is going to really support your body heal much faster. So, this is today's topic about DNA defense, DNA repair with natural foods. So, the five foods that I talked about, please avoid those. The five foods that I discussed, you can include those on a daily basis in your diet to support your DNA repair. If you like this video, you can share it with your friends and family. If you know any of your family members or friends, who are struggling with certain health issues, if they have a history of cancer, or if they're planning to conceive and really need to up their nutrition, or they're struggling with any genetic or even autoimmune conditions, these simple tips are going to really help them. So you can either tag them in the comment section, or you can just share this video privately with them, which will help give them the information that they need. Next month, we are going to talk more about digestion, and we're going to talk about digestive enzymes and probiotics and all of that. It is the month for digestion, so that's what we do in April. If you have any questions specific to your digestion or any topics you want me to talk about, please post them in the comments, and I will make sure that I do videos for those topics. Thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.